Warning. The following podcast was recorded by two idiots. It contains vulgar language, vulgar ideas, and poop jokes. If any of this offends you, blow it out your ass.
Son of a bitch bastard!
Let's start this again, shall we? Jesus Christ.
You're fucking retarded.
Hey, Pickle-Licker, want to play the right intro?
One more time.
Are you ready?
Welcome to another episode of Let Us Cast. I am Andrew. With me, as always, is Bruce.
Hey, what's up, sir?
Not too much, man. We're joined by Ryan. Going on, man?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on again.
Happy to have you, sir.
Yeah, man.
How are things out in Arizona way?
Well, today it is absolutely beautiful. I think we're supposed to hit 85, which sounds great because by the weekend we're supposed to be in the hundreds. So I think this might be the last hurrah before it starts to get the crazy hots.
Jeez.
So I'm going to take advantage today.
Yeah, 100 sounds way
Yeah,
beyond where I would enjoy.
Yeah, and like that's only the start of the hot. I mean, then you get into the 110s, and you know, it's not a good time.
Yeah, that sounds
That's one of
brutal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the downside of living in the Phoenix Valley. What can you do though? You can't control the weather.
It's true. It's true. We've been having a lot of, I don't know about you, Andy, but we've been having a lot of rain up here in New Hampshire. I imagine it's pretty much the same where you are too, right?
Not as much. I mean, we
No?
had some rain in the past couple of days, but that's pretty much it.
We had I think it was
hasn't-
8 or 9 straight days of just rain.
No.
You know,
we
it's
had-
crazy because I actually miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I bet when it's 100 degrees, yeah, you really miss the rain.
I don't know. I just miss like a legitimate rainy day.
Yeah.
We don't really get those out here. Like if it rains, usually it's super intense weather. There's oftentimes a dust storm, and then you have some crazy thunderstorm roll through for maybe an hour and 20 minutes, and then it's all over, and then the ground's dried up maybe 2 hours later.
And I imagine you guys don't get very much snow at all.
Not by where we are. It was cool though. This winter, it did get cool enough where the mountains all had snow on them in the valley. So that
That's
was pretty
cool. Cool.
But that was about as close as we got to it here, though.
Right on.
It just reminds me, like, when Chris moved out there, what was it, like, 5-6 years ago, something like that? One of his big gripes with Rhode Island, he's like, I hate the snow. I gotta get away from this shit. As he's driving into Arizona, it's fucking snowing.
Yep.
Like, this dude
Yeah,
drove like cross country. It snows. And
He followed him all the way.
I feel like
Yep.
it's a Chris Lee effect. Yep. If it can go spectacularly wrong somehow, and Chris is involved, then unfortunately sometimes it just happens.
So you're saying it had more to do with
Yeah, it's no
Chris than
longer-
it had to do with the weather pattern, is what you're saying.
I think the universe sensed that Chris was moving towards Arizona.
Like, oh, you want happiness? Hold my beer. Watch this shit. Snow in Arizona.
Yep, I remember him calling me up. It was actually on Christmas Eve, and he called me up, and he was like, "You're not gonna fucking believe this. It is fucking snowing. There's a 1/4 inch of snow on the ground, and everyone is doing 22 miles an hour right now."
Oh my god.
Yep. He was like, "It's a 1-lane road going both directions, and there's no way that I can get past them to blow around them."
Well, that's really the problem is like with states like Arizona or like Georgia, like places that don't get a lot of snow, you get just the tiniest amount and people just lose their minds because they don't know what to do with it. Whereas up here, we're like, yeah, it's just another day, just more snow.
Oh yeah,
Just
I
find
mean, I
another
think
pile.
the entire area up there probably only has one plow too, so it's
Yeah.
not like they get tons of snow. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's also like, yeah, like you said, like they're not equipped for it. There's states like New Hampshire, like they have trucks like ready to go 24/7 when there's snow.
Yeah.
They got like an endless supply of fucking salt, and like if Georgia gets hit, they're just like, oh shit, New Hampshire, can you let us borrow a couple of trucks?
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, you
So-
got the New England factor too. Like, I mean, all New Englanders have the same mentality when it comes to snow. Fuck this white shit. I got stuff to do.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah, and they're saying. And the weird part is they're saying that while drinking a fucking iced coffee too.
Exactly. Yep.
I'm definitely guilty of that, of drinking iced
Like-
coffee in winter, for sure.
Yep. Gotta get out into the snow to get my iced coffee from Dunkin'.
That's right. My family was so ridiculous that we would love to grill in any weather. So like if there was a lot of snow, we would actually shovel out a path to the grill so we could, cook on the grill.
Oh yeah.
And then
I mean,
you'd see this like slowly progressing like melting spot emanating out from where the grill is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Andy can attest. I know for a fact we had a steak fry at least one time when there was snow on the ground.
I think so. I don't remember being there, but I'm pretty sure it happened.
Yep. I mean, life got to go on. So
That's right. Sometimes you just got to have a burger or a steak, It is what it is.
exactly.
I remember
or a
one
nice
time-
coffee during the middle of a snowstorm.
Yeah. I remember another time we had like some brutal rains and we wanted to cook out. So my mom had somebody hold like an umbrella over her while she was cooking. The only problem was that after we were done, we put the umbrellas in the backseat of the car, and anytime we were driving around, all you could smell was steak. It was just like, I'm sure dogs like were chasing the car at some point because it was like, there goes the steak again, like it was brutal.
Yeah. It's like a
That
it's like a
sounds-
fat kid
sounds
like chasing after
fantastic.
like an ice cream truck or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, I feel like there's like a gag gift involved there. Yep. Honey, I bought this umbrella and all I can smell is steak.
Yeah, it would have been actually a really good prank to like plant that on somebody's car or something,
Yep.
And
Oh,
they're
that
driving
would've
around
been,
like,
yeah.
what the hell is that smell? Like, cost nothing but an umbrella.
Yep. So speaking of cars, it finally happened. After 15 years, I finally said goodbye to the Mazda.
Oh,
Wow,
shit.
15 years
What
of
was
a
the
car.
determining factor?
Yeah,
what was the determining factor? Were you just like, it's about time for it, or was it just like
the,
this
the,
thing's a piece of shit?
the gear shift fell apart in my hands.
That would do it.
Yep, I was shifting into
that would
second.
definitely do it.
I was shifting into second, and I pulled my hand back, and I was holding the shift knob in my hand. So
Oh, jeez, man.
for a couple of months, I was shifting basically using the stick. The top of the shifter was just not there. I was like, nope, this is just time.
Wow, that's insane.
Yep. Luckily, my wife works for a car dealership, so I ended up getting the hookup. Found myself a used VW Jetta, and I've still got another 6-speed. So
Nice.
that's an
there you go.
important requirement. The only thing I've ever driven was a manual, so I need
Yeah.
to have no.
They're hard
And
to
they are
come.
getting hard to find. Oh man.
Yeah, I was gonna say finding a manual these days is very difficult.
Yep. Unless you're willing to drop crazy money on a sports car. I mean, most
Right,
regular cars do not have a manual option anymore.
right, right. Which is weird because at one point
Yeah.
it used to be called
Like-
standard. It was the standard that you got when you bought a
Exactly.
car, and now it's far from.
Well, and I mean, how many people actually know how to drive them anymore too? So.
Well, there's that old joke like the millennial safety lock, whatever, is having a manual transmission.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Although I'm saying all this, and I can't. I mean, I've gotten a car up to third. I don't drive standard myself, but so I say all this, from a completely ignorant point of view. Andy,
Well,
can you drive
that's
stick
the
or
thing
no?
that we were taught. No, I tried, and like I tried. I was like, what car was it? It was a 1988 Nissan Sentra.
Yeah.
I remember I bought it off of a buddy of mine's dad. I'm like, yeah, I can learn this. My mom's trying to teach me, like, okay, just do this and this. And I'm, what the fuck is this? Yeah, and like the justification for it was just like, oh, but if you learn how to drive this, you'll be able to drive everything. I'm like, yeah, because there's 2 fucking options. Like the other justification was like, oh well, with the standard you get better gas mileage, and I looked it up. It was like you get like a gallon, like a mile or 2 more. It's like it's not even worth it.
But also, you have to like drive it like efficiently. I mean, you only get that bonus if you drive it well. If you drive it like shit, much like an automatic, if you drive that like an asshole,
Oh my God,
you'll
yeah.
get less,
Oh, yeah.
mileage out of that too.
Yep.
So
From experience, that is
yeah.
a true statement right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you decide you want to drive really aggressively and be the dick out in the road. Well, I mean, yeah, your gas mileage definitely suffers.
Yeah.
You sound cool while you're doing it, I guess, but
Yeah.
you know.
Man, but 13 years with a car. Is that what you said? 13 or 15?
15 years. Yep, I
15.
bought it brand new off the lot in 2010.
Damn. I'm hoping I get
Jesus,
somewhere
man.
close to that, even remotely, with my Subaru. I bought my Subaru in 2019, brand new. So, knock on wood, still going. It's
Yeah,
up,
I
it's up
mean,
to like 80 something thousand miles, but it's still kicking. I take care of it, so.
As we all know, the tough thing with being in New England is just the salt and the sand.
Yeah, it's starting
Definitely
Yeah.
takes the miles off.
Yeah, it's starting to take a little bit of rust on one of the sides because it got a little bit of a bump on a road at one point, and it caused enough to get to the point where it's going to rust out a little bit. So I'll have to take care of that at some point. But it happens, They're made
Yep,
to
I
be
mean,
driven, not to be
Those New
stored
England
away.
roads. Exactly, especially a Subaru. You got to get out there and drive that.
Yeah, I drove it down to Tennessee and back, so it's seen some shit.
Yeah, it was definitely bittersweet though, because I mean that car is we've been through a lot, put a lot of miles, and I mean that was the car I drove across the country with. So,
Damn.
but yeah, it was time.
Did you keep any
Yeah.
piece of it, like the hood ornament or whatever, or any part of it, or the gear shift that came off in your hands, maybe?
I actually kept the Rhode Island license plate, which is
Uh-oh, did we lose him?
Uh-oh.
we losing
There
me?
he is. You,
Yep,
Yep,
no,
I'm
we're
back.
good.
so you said you kept the plate?
Yeah, I kept the license plate. Yeah, which is what I had for both of the cars that I've had. So got a little piece of roadie right with me right in Arizona now.
Nice.
Look, I'm still in the heart of Rhode Island. That's not something to just be like framing up on a wall. That's just like put it in the attic and just push it back with like traumatized childhood memories.
Exactly.
there's like no redeeming qualities in this state.
I mean, Rhode Island's got good food.
Yeah.
I will say that.
That is debatable.
Nah,
It
after
depends
traveling
on
the
what-
country, Andy, you gotta give Rhode Island something. Rhode Island, basically the entire Northeast, with some exceptions, is really foodie centric. So I mean, you can find quite the amazing culture if you're willing to travel around.
I would agree.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't really know like what's outside of Rhode Island. Like my foodie knowledge or whatever the fuck you want to call it is like perfect experience is like driving down to New Jersey and coming back with like 3 or 4 dozen fucking bagels and like just stocking them away in a freezer like a squirrel storing nuts.
Oh, exactly, because Jersey has some of the best bagels on the planet.
Yeah. It's like going
I mean,
to
why
New York
wouldn't
for
you?
a
Oh, yeah,
deli,
Northern here.
Yep. I mean, much to my point. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
But that's the thing, if I don't have-
there's a pride taken in the food out in New England. I think a lot of chain restaurants here, which I mean we all know. I mean some chains are okay, but you know it's not the same thing as
Yeah.
that mom and pop kind of family run atmosphere.
It's true.
Yeah, but it's also like how often do I travel outside of Rhode Island? I really don't. So I really don't have much to compare it to.
Well, that's definitely
so
fair.
You can compare it to Wendy's
Like,
or McDonald's or whatever. Well, it's better than McDonald's.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, that's one of those prevalent places outside of the rest of the country. After being through quite a few states at this point, I mean, it's McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get lucky
Yeah.
and you get a Subway.
Yeah. We just lost a restaurant up here that was like a mom and pop's kind of store. It was called, you guys will appreciate this, it was called Cactus Jack's. They just called it CJ's. But it was like a Tex-Mex place, and they closed down, and it became a Raising Cane's.
Oh, that's wrong.
Yeah, and it's really popular
Yeah.
because people are like, "Oh my God, Raising Cane's!" I'm like, "It's just fucking chicken. Like,
Exactly.
relax, you know? Like
And
we don't have a
it's not
million
even-
chicken
it's
places
not
here
even-
already."
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is that like, okay, yeah, it's Raising Cane's, but like the chicken's okay. I don't think it deserves like cult status that it gets.
I've never even been there to be honest with you, but the first day that it opened, from like hours before it opened, throughout the entire day, they said it was impossible to get in there. There were like news trucks and shit because there was literally just a line out the door and around the corner for like hours all day long. It was impossible. I was like, you got to be kidding for chicken. Like, this is crazy.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I mean, Andy, remember how crazy it was when Chick-fil-A opened?
Really, Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That shit was insane.
So, quick thing about that too. They're opening up another Chick-fil-A right next to the Texas Roadhouse in that movie theater parking lot at the Showcase in Warwick.
Oh boy.
So it's like great.
That'll be an event.
So it's like okay. Yeah, it's like okay, great. Now when I want to see a movie, I'm gonna be stuck in traffic for an hour because somebody's like, "I'm gonna get my spicy chicken sandwich, no tomatoes."
Yeah, we've hit the big
dude.
time back home. We're gonna have 2 Chick-fil-A's.
Hey, at
Yeah,
least
but
it
the
won't affect
Chick-fil-A's in
Sundays.
this
You know
I guess.
you've made it.
And that's the thing that like drives me nuts too. Is that like this Chick-fil-A is literally going to be about, I don't know, 5 miles down the road from another Chick-fil-A.
That's nuts.
Well, listen, that's the Rhode Island way, though, Andy. That's what we do. I mean, think about Dunkin' locations. Think about gas stations. Like, I mean, if we don't want to have to drive far for things.
So there's a road in Billerica. It goes through multiple cities or towns actually, but it's called Boston Road. And on this one road in Billerica, at one point, it might still be true, but at one point there were 3 Dunkin' Donuts on the same fucking road. And you could probably, like, realistically throw a rock from one to the other, and then, you know, again from the next one to the third one. So they were ridiculously close together.
Yeah, and then you'd be arrested for throwing rocks at a Dunkin' Donuts in New England.
It's true.
Exactly. And they might tar and feather you for that. That's.
Oh, up here, absolutely.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Any offense
like
against Dunkin's is an offense against the state.
Exactly.
I mean, throwing rocks at Dunkin' Donuts in New England is like basically going into a church and announcing you pissed on the Pope.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might be more outraged about the Dunkin', to be honest.
It's true. Has anybody heard? I mean, I'm not necessarily following, and I assume you guys aren't following the stuff with the new Pope at all, but like I saw that there was a little bit of like outrage about the previous Pope after he died, which was weird because, like, again, I don't follow much about it, but it seemed like when he first became Pope, everybody was like, oh yeah, he's going to be such a positive impact on the church and we love him, go whatever. And then he died and they're all like, that fucking prick, he was an antichrist. And it was like, what the hell just happened? Like, it's like...
I didn't hear about that shit.
No? I read an article where they were like, fuck him. It was like, all right.
I did hear about that. People talking about how he's too liberal, and I kind of want to be like, did you read that book? Like, I'm pretty sure the message is really a liberal message. Love everyone.
Well, you see, you missed the part where it says love everyone except for those you don't agree with. You see, there's fine print.
I've read the book quite a few times. I don't think that line is in there. I think he literally said love everyone.
Shit. All right.
There was some talk about it's not good to be rich too. I mean, but yeah,
something about a camel
even then you still gotta love them.
Just like love all thy neighbors except for Ted. That motherfucker knows what he did. Fuck him.
Yeah, that might be in the outtakes. That might be on the cutting room floor. They're like, nah, that line's not as popular. We can't keep that in the book.
Yeah. I was just like, it was just weird to me that like while he was alive, they did nothing but sing his praises, and then as soon as he died, they were like, yeah, fuck him, and it was like, okay, fuck him, I guess. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
I don't know very much about the new Pope, but I will say some of the memes have been fire with the Chicago sports teams that are associated.
I have not seen it.
Some of them have been pretty amazing.
Because is he from Chicago? Is that why they're ribbing him?
Yeah, he's the first American Pope. Yeah,
I knew he was the first American. I didn't know he was from Chicago though.
Yep, yeah, he's from the Chicago area originally.
So he's used to disappointment.
Not only that, Bruce, not only that, man. Like, there's video of him like at the 2005 World Series where the Chicago White Sox won the series.
Really?
Like, yeah, there's like camera shots of him like in the crowd.
Wow. Hmm.
And I'm like, all right, he's a White Sox fan, so I guess he's kind of used to disappointment this year.
I mean, it doesn't matter whether it was White Sox or the Cubs, to be honest, right?
Exactly.
Either way,
I
if you're
mean-
from Chicago, you're disappointed.
Yep. Yep, I'll
Well,
give
yeah,
them
I mean, it's
credit.
just
Those
pretty
are
much-
some of the most fervent fan bases out there. But
Oh,
man,
yeah.
they're definitely used to disappointment, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't really had a run except for like, or as epic as the Bulls. So, I mean, we got to give them the Bulls, you know.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, they won 6 championships in like 10 years.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's a hell of a run. So, at least they had that, but man, it's been rough for Chicago.
Yeah. But then again, like you watch the documentary, what was it called, The Last Dance, and management basically told them like, hey, they're just off of winning a championship in '97, and they basically said, look, we don't care if you guys win another championship, the team is done after this. So Jordan leaves, Phil Jackson leaves, Rodman leaves, Pippen leaves. Like they just imploded that fucking team instead of saying like, shit, let's keep this fucking going.
You would think, yeah, that would have made way more sense. Did they consult the fans? I'm pretty sure that from a fan standpoint, you want to see your team win on the regular.
I'm pretty sure they were just like, what do they know? It's fucking business. Much like any other sports team is just like, fuck the fans. This is business. We need this.
Yeah.
Yep.
All comes down to money.
It
Yeah.
does.
Well, speaking in the realm
Anyway.
of sports, and not to bring us down too much, but I'm sure you guys have also heard about the legendary Sabu.
Yes, that was sad.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard about some of the controversy, but like they've been kind of blaming like Janela or even the promotion for letting him wrestle and stuff. And there's been a talk about what he took before the match and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, it really sucks. Like, first of all, that any of that talk is even happening, let alone the possibility of any of it being true. But just like the fact that he can't just die in peace, like it sucks.
Yeah, I feel like we have such a tabloid culture at this point. People want to know the down and the dirty, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, no, that's the thing. They just want to find any reason to bring it down. Like, I'm honestly surprised. Like Ronnie James Dio died like 15 years ago this week, and I'm surprised it wasn't like, did you know he was wearing high heels and he was dressing in drag or something? Something to like just try and like bring him down. It's like, motherfucker, just let him die in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
the bigger question too for those kind of people too is like, why do you care?
Right.
Even if the thing that you're saying is true, why do you care?
Right.
Has zero impact on you.
You do get those really weird, like, obsessive type fans who just want to know every little detail about every little thing about a person. And, I mean, that's a whole nother level of, like, stay away from that kind of person. But, like, yeah, why do people care so much? I think some of it, too, is, like, we're in a culture where I just want to know just a little bit more than you. And even if, I know just a little bit more than you, hey, I got a step above you. So, oh, you didn't know this thing about it, so that makes me smarter than you for some stupid reason.
I think it's that, and it's also like they want to find any kind of flaw so that they can feel better about themselves. It's like,
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
okay,
think
well,
there's
at least I
definitely
didn't.
that.
Yeah, it's like, well, okay, at least I didn't do this.
Yeah, I wouldn't have sent him into the
Okay,
match. If I was a
congratulations.
promotion, I would have done this. And if I was Joey, I would. And if I was so and so, I would have. Oh, because you've never made any
yeah.
mistakes. Okay, cool, good to know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that Monday morning
I'm-
quarterback mentality.
Yeah,
yeah, like hindsight's 20/20 for a fucking reason.
right.
And like, if you're a wrestling promoter and like you've got a legendary wrestler like Sabu, or if you have Bret Hart like making an appearance or something like that, like you want them to go out there.
Right.
Because that you're paying them money and they're bringing people in to see your promotion. If there's like a local promotion where it's just like, oh yeah, we've got these guys, blah 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 blah. Okay, maybe you get some fans in there, but if you announce that like, oh hey, we've got Ric Flair making an appearance. If he brings in like 20 people, that's probably 20 people that weren't going to go to your show regardless, and they're going to see your talent like, oh shit, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll check this out again next week or whatever.
Yeah. Well, especially in this case, it was booked as like Sabu's final match. Although, I guess there was some talk too about like he was saying in interviews leading up to it that it wasn't going to be his final match. Like he was planning on having other matches after this, which wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you. I mean, Sabu was freaking crazy, you know.
Well, yeah. But
Yeah, and I mean, right or wrong, good or bad too. I mean, it's not like they twisted these guys' arms to do some of these matches late in their careers too. I mean,
Right.
I'm sure that they absolutely loved the fact that someone was like, "You're still so popular after all this time that we want you to come back. People are demanding; they want to see you." There's no way that that can't be an amazing feeling from a performer's standpoint.
Right.
Was it the best decision for health wise for them? I don't know, but I mean, sometimes I think that those guys would probably rather go out with a bang with one last big match than kind of disappear into mediocrity at the end of their career.
Right. I think it's kind of similar with musicians. I mean, musicians obviously don't have the same physical risk by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still that whole thing of like, I just want to go out there and do it again until I can't do it anymore, you know?
Exactly.
It's kind of like a pride thing.
And I mean, if they're
you know?
touring too, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily each individual concert, although from doing concerts, it can be exhausting. But
Yeah.
I think it's, they go on these, huge tours, and it's more of the day after day after day. I'm going to go and travel. I'm going to go and get ready. I'm going to get, into that mindset. I'm going to go out and perform.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and hang out with the fans afterwards. And I'm going to go and do it again and again and again. That's got to be exhausting. I mean, it's baseball, is kind of comes to mind. It's not maybe the insane like contact sport or anything like that, but still exhausting going out and performing, especially the guys who are out in the field like all the time.
Right, and you're traveling. You play three games or 4 games in a city, and then you move to another one, do it all over again. It's like it never ends.
Yep, and I mean, man, traveling is exhausting too.
Right, and even when you're not playing, like let's say baseball, even not when you're not in a season, it's not like in the off season you're just kicking your feet up and doing nothing. You got to stay working out. You got to stay in shape. You can't just be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna chill, because if you do, then you won't be at that level where you can compete with those people.
Yeah, which to me makes it even more crazy for a lot of those old school wrestling guys, because you got to figure most of those guys were performing 200 plus times a year. I mean, they're sometimes even more than that. Sometimes 300 plus times a year.
Yeah.
Traveling to a city, getting set up, doing a show that day, maybe doing 2 shows sometimes, and then getting right back in not a fancy tour bus, but probably just someone's car, and then driving to the next place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can lie like Hulk Hogan and say I wrestled over 400 days in a year. Guy's more full of shit than his fucking beer cans.
Well, brother, with all the jet travel and the days that you gain and you lose, it can add up to 400 days. So yeah, brother, 400 days in a year.
I mean, at this point,
like
something's got to fill those pythons, and it ain't muscle at this point, I don't think. So I guess it might as well be shit.
It's absolutely like he's so full of shit. His fucking eyes are brown. but I mean that. Like it's also like that mentality of like the professional wrestler is like, okay, if I get hurt, somebody's going to replace me. I have to keep going, and like there's no off season for them.
Right.
And the thing with Sabu too, like the thing with Sabu too is he has his reputation. Hardcore legend, whatever have you. Well, that's Mick Foley, but Sabu, ECW, most dangerous wrestler, whatever have you. If he goes out there and just has a straight wrestling, if he goes out there and has a straight wrestling match, fans are gonna demand a fucking refund because like we want to see some crazy shit. We want to see him wrapped in barbed wire. We want to see him on fire. We want to see him.
Well, you know the story about him in WCW, right? He did like a he had like
I heard this. No.
He had a cup of coffee in WCW, and for a reason, because they brought him in, because much like what often happened with Sabu is they brought him in and then they wanted to change him. They were like, Sabu, just don't use tables, all right? He goes, okay, yeah, no problem. He goes out. First thing he does is he puts someone through a table, and he was done. So like, you cannot tell Sabu what to do. Like, it's just he's gonna have his match the way he's gonna have his match, And if you tell him not to do something, the first thing he's going to do is that very thing.
It's also like if I go to like if I go to a music store and I want to get a guitar, I like the way it sounds, I like the way it looks, I like everything. I bring it home and then I'm trying to change it to what it doesn't sound like that I like. What the fuck am I doing?
Right.
Like you bought Sabu, like you knew what you were getting into.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know if you guys watch
it's not...
or listen to Steven Richards' podcast, but he has a pretty good one, and he did a little bit of talking about Sabu, and there were some funny stories in there, and some funny like behind the scenes stuff. Like I guess at one point he traveled in a car with Kelly and somebody else. I forget who it was, but like it was 3 people you would never imagine would travel together. It was like it was Sabu, Kelly, and Steven Richards all traveled together for a little bit, and it's like you got to imagine you see a car stop and out walk the 3 of them. You're like, well, there's a mix. Like,
yeah, like I don't know why they're together, but I kind of want to see where this is gonna go.
Right. Or he told the story about the infamous.
I kind of want to see the from the inside the car blooper reels there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Or he would talk about
you see, like Sabu just like
Sabu's 1-2 sorry. I don't know if you guys know about 1-2 sorry. But like
no.
Sabu was infamous for accidentally potatoing people, so he'd be like 1-2 sorry, 1-2 sorry, and at one point Stevie Richards would be like, you know what, dude, you can stop saying sorry, it's okay, I know, like.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. They were like, Sabu never talks unless you mean in the ring because it's always 1-2 sorry, 1-2 sorry.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. You guys should definitely check out Stevie's podcast if you haven't, because he's got some really funny stories. He also does stuff where he'll like analyze like modern or past wrestling and do like a what went right or what went wrong and sort of show you like, oh yeah, this guy, he should have grabbed him here because he would have had more leverage, or he would have like been able to tuck his head a little better, he wouldn't have gotten hurt, or hey, look here, like they really protected her or whatever. Like really shows you some behind the scenes stuff like you wouldn't really think of. It's pretty cool.
I watched one of those videos. It was him breaking down the infamous Bret Hart Goldberg match where Bret Hart's career ended.
Watch the kick.
And you're like, what kick?
Yeah.
Sorry.
1-2 sorry.
Yep. Yeah, something like that. Except Goldberg was never sorry.
Right. And there was no 1-2.
No.
It was just sorry.
Yep. It's more like 1-2 on purpose.
Yeah.
It's like 1-2 X Zert.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So not to entirely change the subject, but Andy, I've got to know. I hear that you have a zoo story, and I'm very intrigued. I've just got to know, man.
Okay. All right. So I'll tell this story.
Strap in for this one.
Strap in, strap on, strap off, whatever you got to do to yourself.
The strapper.
So, anyways, yeah. So the reason we didn't podcast last Sunday was because it was Mother's Day. So, I apparently would have made my dad proud with this one because Roger Williams Zoo, they're like, hey, it's Mother's Day, bring your mom and she gets in free. Like, shit, okay. Go walk around the zoo, get some fucking steps in. She's free of charge to get in. This is gonna be awesome. So we go there, and the one exhibit she wanted to see was this whole building that they built was more like, animals that are in like the rainforest, like howler monkeys and like other birds and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're walking around. We see like, they have signs everywhere basically saying like, hey, this is kind of a free roaming area. Watch your heads because there are birds that fly over and there are monkeys that, crawl on these vines over your heads.
Oh God.
And we're just like, all right, cool. Whatever. We're walking around. We see like the sea otters and whatnot, and walking around the exhibit. We get to this other place. We're up against this rail, and we just notice this like water just like kind of dripping down in like a little stream. We're like, what the fuck was that? We look up and there's a fucking monkey taking a piss. If we were a foot closer, this monkey would have fucking pissed all over us.
Oh my God.
And I swear to God, that fucking monkey just looked at me, smiled, and fucking fucked off. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Like, don't know if I can be mad about this. This is kind of hilarious.
It's a swerve, bro. The monkey's gonna just barely miss peeing on you. And then he's gonna take a powder.
That's
down in the
fantastic.
Baja. Monkeys can pee on you all they want. There's no regulations down in the Baja.
It must be pretty cool to be a monkey because you can literally do like whatever you want. I mean, who's gonna stop? It's like, you know, we were just talking about Sabu doing whatever he wants, but being a monkey's like next level Sabu. You can literally just pee wherever you want. Who's
Yep.
gonna stop you?
I mean, if you're in a zoo,
People's response.
well, I
well,
imagine
just
it's
a
more.
monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I imagine it's more like beneficial, like if you're in a zoo, because like if you're in a zoo, you don't have to worry about predators. Like if you're a monkey in the wild, like I gotta look around for shit that's constantly wants to kill me.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely want to be a zoo monkey, not a wild monkey.
I mean, you're already a zoo at this point, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure we live in like the biggest zoo.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But hey, at least we have electric bikes.
Exactly.
It's no consolation, but we at least have them.
Do you guys have electric bikes littered in your local sewers and canalways and such, like every other city in town that has them?
It's kind of insane. There's actually job postings. The companies will hire people to follow the GPS devices on the different bikes and scooters that are out here. And you literally just drive around with a truck, pick them up, and bring them back.
Wow.
I can't even imagine. It must be such a boring job.
I know, and probably filthy too. I can only imagine some of the places those things are discarded.
Yeah, I mean, most of the area is nice, but God, I wouldn't want to be the guy doing it in downtown Phoenix, though. That's for sure.
You know, probably one of the most brilliant ways to like murder somebody would be with one of those, because no one seems to give a fuck about them. Like, if you killed somebody with one of those somehow and then just discard it, they'd be like, yeah, it's just another one in the fucking sewer. You know, like, no big deal.
Yep. Basically, yeah.
Like, there's no way, like, people don't trace it. People don't, like, you know.
I mean, probably some poor guy getting paid minimum wage is going to go and pick it up and dust it off and put it away for you. So
Right, right. Little speck of dirt, no worries. Put it back.
Yep.
Seats ripped. Seats ripped a little bit, and some duct tape. Fix that. It's fine.
We used to have not bikes, but I think we had like scooters up here, but they all ended up like on the side of the highway or something. Like we have a highway overpasses and people would throw them off, and it's like, well, that's fucking dangerous. Maybe we should not do that. So they got rid of them.
Yeah.
We can't have nice things.
And that was the thing. That was like a whole mystery too. It's like, you know, you just drive around everywhere and you see like these orange like scooters just fucking everywhere, and you're like, where the fuck did these things come from?
And who's using them?
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, when I worked up at
And-
ASU, that was totally the case because I mean ASU is enormous and those bikes and scooters are everywhere. So I mean you'd just be either walking or driving somewhere and you know there'd just be one just randomly just on the sidewalk, you know, like you said, in a canal, on the side of the road. Just I guess someone, you know, paid as much as they were willing to pay, and all of a sudden it stopped, and they're just like, "Yep, this seems like a great place to leave this. I'm just gonna keep walking."
But did you guys ever see someone actually
Like-
riding one? Because I don't think I ever have. Like, I've always seen these things
Oh, yeah.
discarded, but I've never seen them ridden.
Oh yeah, and they
Yeah?
are so frustrating because they do not understand that you know it's a motorized device. You need to follow the rules of the road.
Oh man.
Yep,
Yeah,
it is
like
something
you,
else.
yeah, like you mostly see that like people like riding around them in like a big city. Like if I go to Providence or something like that, if you look out the window, like every now and then you'll see like an orange scooter just like riding by on the street and shit.
Oh yeah, they are everywhere, zooming in and out, cutting through traffic. It's kind of horrifying sometimes.
Well, that's obnoxious.
Yeah,
it's weird
between
because
those and I don't know if you guys have them out in the Northeast yet, but the Waymo cars are a big deal out here still. So
No, I don't think I've seen a Waymo car.
Haven't seen them, no.
they are
Nope.
driverless cars that'll come pick you up and bring you places.
Oh fuck.
They are
that.
covered in covered in sensors and cameras and all of that kind of stuff. And I mean, it's kind of horrifying. There have definitely been some people that have been killed by them. They had some glitch for a while, and if you were in a crosswalk, it wouldn't automatically stop. So unfortunately, some people totally got hit at full speed by a Waymo car, and they're still a thing. They're still driving around.
Jesus, man. Oh,
Yep.
shit.
Anytime I see one, I'm like, get me away from this thing.
I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but apparently we only have 15 minutes left in our call, according to Google.
Fucking Google Meets.
I know,
Piece of
right?
shit.
I didn't know it had a
This
time
never happened with Skype.
limit.
It didn't. Nope. R.I.P. Skype.
I know.
Never thought I'd say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I know.
Yep. It went the went the ways of MySpace.
What's MySpace?
Exactly.
It
Yep.
sucks, man. Everything's
back in-
costing more money and
Back
you're
in
getting
the
less
dark
out of it.
days when you had to learn HTML coding to go and do your, your personal page there.
That's the only reason I knew any
Yep.
HTML. It's for
Exactly.
MySpace.
Yep. Because I wanted to figure out how to play multiple songs on my MySpace, so I was like, I'm looking that shit up.
Yep.
Damn right. Oh, man.
So not to change the subject much like Ryan. But
It's
Bruce, I
slow,
understand you
bro.
got something interesting in the mail the other day.
Yeah, I did. It was funny because
Ryan, you got to check this shit out.
actually, hang on one second. I'll get it. One second.
All right. So Ryan, let me give you the setup for this.
Okay.
So a couple of weeks ago, I was telling a story about getting a bill from a CPAP company and whatnot. And I was all pissed off with them and whatnot. And I was like, I better not get a fucking bill in May and blah blah blah. And Bruce is like, well, did you get a bill in May? I'm like, dude, it's still fucking April. So, Bruce, would you like to show Ryan what I sent to you?
Yeah, so I come home and I see a package at my door and I'm like, from Amazon, and I'm like, the fuck? I didn't order anything, and it's awfully thin. Like, what the shit is this? And so I open it up, and this is what I get, man. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a cat pooping calendar.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So every month is dedicated to a cat taking a shit, you know. So it's lovely.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yep.
now I have to open it up to May. 'Cause now it's May. Did you get your bill, by the way?
No, I didn't. Thankfully.
Good. Did you get June's yet?
Like, do I have to send you another calendar, Bruce? It's like
Man,
every
so
time he
that-
asks, I'm gonna send him another calendar.
That totally makes me think of the rubber chicken war, Andy.
That's still going on, man.
Yeah,
rubber
that's still
chicken
going on. Yeah. Yep, we have had a
so-
thing with rubber chickens for a minute now.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's been going on for a couple of years. So, the latest one was like a couple of months ago. Ryan and his wife Amy and Chris, they sent me this thing where it was. Hang on a second, where the hell is this damn thing? They sent me that, and it was like this little like electronic keychain. Like you hit it, and it makes different chicken noises and shit. So I was like, all right, game on, motherfuckers. So like a month later, I sent them a giant like rubber chicken mask that goes over your head.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Is it sort of like that? Remember that video where like the woman got kind of like not famous, but everyone was like laughing because it was the Chewbacca mask, and she thought it was so fucking funny because the jaw moved. Is it like that kind of thing where like the jaw moves like a beak or something, or is it just like a big?
No.
rubber
It was
chicken mask?
literally like a rubber mask. It was a rubber mask that looked like a rubber chicken's head, and your face like sticks out of the mouth.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yep. And I mean,
Yeah, there's a picture of Chris.
do you want to tell them how it started, Andy? I mean, it's possibly one of the greatest stories ever involving rubber chickens and flying.
Oh yeah. So
tell.
yeah, so it was after like the first time I went out to Arizona to visit with Ryan and Chris and everybody. And one of the things that they had given to me was it was a game of charades, but it came with a rubber chicken for some freaking reason. Somebody in marketing was just like, "We need a rubber chicken to play charades. This is awesome!" Like,
Exactly.
Okay.
You know what would make charades better? Rubber chickens.
100%.
You know what would make rubber charade with chickens better? Bacon.
Rubber charades.
I rest my case, Your Honor. The defense rests. But no, so I'm flying back and I'm going through TSA and whatnot. They scan my bag and like I walk through, like I pass through and I'm looking for my bag and like I'm not seeing my bag anywhere. I'm like, what the fuck? Where the fuck is it? Like, did it get stuck in the machine? Like, they pulled it off to the side and like they're looking at the X-ray and they're opening it up. I'm like, hey, like why'd you like why's my bag being like held by you guys? What's going on? They're like, well, something concerning. We're just double checking. I'm like, what was concerning? They're like, and I'm seeing the X-ray of this fucking rubber chicken in my bag, and I couldn't help but fucking laugh about it because I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me.
Oh my god.
And I asked them, I said, can I please take a picture of the screen because my friends are not gonna fucking believe this shit. And they're like, well, no, we can't secure it. I'm like, you guys are no fucking fun.
Oh man.
Yep. So just so everyone knows out there in the world, the TSA does not like rubber chickens in your bags.
That's
Don't bring 'em.
hilarious.
Yeah, it doesn't like rubber chickens in your bag. But apparently, one of the things I learned the last time I flew out there was you could bring a live lobster onto the fucking plane. They have no problem with that.
Yeah, but not rubber chickens, though.
You got to draw a
No
line
rubber chicken.
somewhere.
No.
You got to draw a line
Exactly.
somewhere. And you know,
Yeah.
I
so-
think the
Draw it.
reason is because you know your average everyday Joe is very likely to bring a live lobster on a flight, but it's a true psychopath that brings a rubber chicken on a flight. That's the problem.
Exactly.
It's not
So
the chicken or
since
the
then,
lobster
Andy and I
itself;
have
it's what they imply.
randomly-
You know.
Yep. So since then, Andy and I have
Yeah.
randomly sent rubber chickens back and forth to each other.
That's amazing.
I mean, I found him an epic.
Actual,
I don't know if you're ever gonna wear it, but I found Andy an epic rubber chicken T-shirt. They exist.
I have it. Once I lose a little bit more weight, I'm gonna wear that thing proudly.
Oh my god! Can I tell you guys a quick prank story before we get out of here?
You got a quick
Absolutely.
story?
All
Okay,
right.
tell me a quick story.
So my a friend of the family, John, he used to draw for Marvel Comics and stuff, but he's quite the prankster. And one thing that he used to do is he had a neighbor that had this sheep, like a wooden sheep, out on his lawn as like a decoration, and he would steal it. And because he would travel a lot to do like conventions and signings and shit, he would take the sheep with him and then take a picture of him with the sheep in front of like various road signs. So it's like, welcome to Albany, click. Welcome to, you know, Athens, click. Like, and he would just send it to his neighbor, all these pictures of the sheep in all these different cities. It was fucking hilarious. So he'd be like, here, hold this sheep and go in front of the sign. I got to send this back to my neighbor. I won't use the neighbor's name, but I got to send it back to him. And so he'd have to be like, hold the sheep in front of whatever sign, like, hey.
That's pretty funny.
just
Just
to fuck with
casually
his
traveling
neighbor.
with the sheep.
Just traveling with a sheep.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised you didn't be like, so they're in front of the picture, like, welcome to Albany, and he's pretending to fuck the sheep in the ass. like, like, I think that guy would have moved out of the neighborhood.
I know, right?
Yep. The conversation just went there. Leave it to Andy.
Yeah, right.
Like, hey, what's a little sheep fucking between friends, right?
Oh.
And since it's so unregulated, I'm sure that happens frequently down by the Baja.
Absolutely.
Down in the bot, we got rubber sheeps down there. You squeeze them, they go, "Bergurk!" They can do that because there's no regulations.
No regulations.
They have them growing in the trees now.
Oh shit. Well, we should probably wrap this thing up before Google gives us the proverbial boot. I don't know how much longer it is. I haven't really been keeping track, to be honest with you.
Do
you have a clock
It
over
says we
there?
got like 6 minutes.
6 minutes? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it's saying we got 6 minutes.
6
yeah.
minutes. Yep.
Like, it's like, oh, hey, if you want more time, you can pay for it. Like,
Or you could suck my dick.
or Google makes billions of dollars a year. You can shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Yep.
Adults are talking.
Adults are talking. This is important.
Yep.
Adults are talking about fucking a sheep in front of a sign that says "Welcome to Albany." This is important stuff.
The fate of the world depends on this, folks.
Can we not say? Next thing we know, we just get an email just saying, like, look, if you were talking about fucking a rubber, like, Sabu in front of a sign that says, welcome to Dudleyville, we would have been fine with that.
There's a line, as always, folks.
There
Yep,
is.
exactly. Yep, all this sheep talk and all the rubber chickens, though, we can't be having that.
Oh, God, no. No. One person starts talking about rubber chickens. Next thing we know, the TSA gets involved and every plane is grounded because we gotta look for these fucking things.
Oh, man. Fucking chickens. Fucking sheep.
Fucking chickens, man.
Fucking chickens and fucking sheep.
That just seems to be.
It really is a zoo episode. Because we had monkeys pissing on you, we got rubber chickens, we got sheep. And we had Sabu, the elephant boy.
Exactly.
Let us zoo cast.
I'm just picturing Sabu cutting a promo like, I am not an animal. I am a human being.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I fucking love you guys for this shit. Well, Bruce, you got anything to plug before we wrap this up? We got like 4 minutes.
I do actually, yeah, I'll make it quick. So on June 1st, my band Down Boys is releasing our first single called My Kinda Animal. That'll be on Spotify, Apple, all the big places where you can go find it. So a link will be shared via social media as we get closer to that. So be sure to check that out.
Nice.
Awesome. Ryan, you got anything you want to plug here, man?
I mean, just keep enjoying life as much as possible. I think that's the key to it.
Ooh, yeah.
I like that, man. I like that. He's a good man. That's why we bring him on here. He's a good man and he's hilarious.
He's got
Yeah,
nothing,
no, guys,
he's
I
got nothing
appreciate
to-
you guys inviting me again. It's been good conversations as usual.
Yeah. He's got nothing to plug
We
except for
always
the
end
mouth
up
of a rubber
going
chicken.
down quite the rabbit holes.
Yeah, that's the deal. We prank each other with rubber chickens and we come on here and we talk about, like, why are we doing this? We're grown men.
When does it stop?
Yeah. I don't know. For the amount of cartoons that we watch, are we grown men?
Touche.
Yes.
What about you, good sir Andy? Do you have anything you want to
No.
plug?
No, nothing I really want to plug. Just tell everybody out there, just, hey, be good to each other. We know the world's a shit show. We know the world's a dumpster fire. Call it whatever you want. But I was listening to a podcast earlier this week, and one of the hosts was telling a story about, like, how politics, like, you know, put a wedge between her and her brother, all because she had said, hey, you know, it was, like, apparently he works for, like, some security thing, and he was talking about deporting immigrants and whatnot. And she's like, hey, don't forget what mom taught us. Don't forget your humanity. And that kind of stuck with me. So just tell everybody out there, hey, don't forget about your humanity.
Well said, sir.
You know,
Makes sense
she's
to me.
Don't forget your zoomanity.
Yep.
And don't forget if you're walking around a fucking zoo, look up because it may just piss on you.
Yep.
Can't think of a better way to end it than
Gotta
that,
look
sir.
out for that monkey pee.
Dude, I swear to God, if I can find a rubber chicken that, like, if you squeeze it, it squawks and pees on somebody, I'm fucking sending it to both of you. Like, oh God!
Oh, shit.
I don't know. I think the ball's in my court again. I still got to get you back for the mask, so we'll see what I find.
I mean, that's why I got it. I'm just like, all right, top this fucker.
Game on.
So with that, we're going to wrap it up here for Let Us Cast. I'm Andrew.
I'm Bruce.
And I'm Ryan.
And for those asking, I have talked to Chris. As soon as the schedule kind of clears up a little bit and he's got the time and he's well rested, we're going to have him on here again.
Sweet.
Yep. Possibly late 2025. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. He's gotta
I
take
would
care of
recommend
himself
talking
first.
to him around the All-Star break.
Yeah.
That's probably your best bet, guys. Other than that, it's going to be until November.
We'll give him a woo for me.
Absolutely. The next time I actually see him in person, we'll see.
Right on.
Thanks for joining us this week, everybody. We will see you next time. And yeah, we'll have more stories about